This story starts with a young girl who was very special. She was about 10 to 12 years old, with small horns on her head and beautiful wings on her back. Her name was Maleficent, and she was a kind fairy who lived in a magical forest. Maleficent had never left her forest home or seen the world outside. She was happy living with all the magical animals and creatures in her forest, everyone except humans, who she had never met before. One day, while walking through her forest, Maleficent found a young boy about her age. She asked him who he was and what he was doing there. The boy told her he lived in a nearby kingdom and had come to take a shiny diamond. Maleficent took the diamond back and offered to help him get home safely. The boy asked if they could be friends and if he could come back to play in the forest. Maleficent warned him that the magical forest could be dangerous for humans, but she agreed to think about it. When they shook hands, Maleficent felt a sharp pain. The boy was wearing an iron ring, and iron hurts fairies. She told him not to come back while wearing iron. The boy returned to his kingdom, but Maleficent didn't know that his kingdom wanted to take over her forest. The boy's parents had died, and he dreamed of becoming king one day. Despite coming from enemy kingdoms, the boy and Maleficent became close friends over many years. As they grew up together, reaching 16 years old, they began to care for each other deeply. Maleficent started to believe that humans could be good and kind. She didn't realize that some humans could be greedy and selfish. One day, an old king from another kingdom came with his army to attack Maleficent's forest. He wanted to steal the treasures hidden there. Maleficent, now grown powerful, stood up to protect her home. She told the king he couldn't enter her forest, but he ordered his soldiers to kill her. The Magi. Soon after, Stefan married the old king's daughter, and they had a baby girl. There was a big celebration in the kingdom. Maleficent secretly came to the celebration and approached the baby. She told the tiny princess that she was beautiful, but when she turned 16, she would prick her finger on a needle and die. Stefan begged Maleficent not to hurt his innocent daughter, asking why she was punishing his child for his mistakes. Maleficent reminded him of what he had done to her when she was young. However, she still had some kindness in her heart. She told Stefan there was one way to break the curse. If his daughter received true love's kiss on her 16th birthday, she would live. Worried about his daughter's safety, Stefan asked 3 fairy godmothers to take the baby far away from the kingdom. He told them not to bring her back until after her 16th birthday, hoping this would keep her safe from the curse. Stefan also tried to attack Maleficent's forest, but she had protected it with powerful magic that no human could cross. The baby princess was named Aurora. Even though the 3 fairies took her far away, Maleficent always knew where she was. At first, Maleficent tried to scare the little girl, but baby Aurora would just smile at her. This began to melt Maleficent's angry heart. The 3 fairies who were supposed to care for Aurora were not very good at their job. They were careless and often put Aurora in danger. Maleficent found herself secretly protecting the little girl, saving her from falling off cliffs or out of trees. As Aurora grew up, Maleficent grew to love her like a daughter. By the time Aurora was 15, with only 1 year left before the curse would come true, Maleficent no longer wanted the curse to happen. The fairies had taken Aurora to a cottage surrounded by thick woods, where she lived without knowing about the outside world. One day, curioso, as Aurora ventured out and met Maleficent face to face. Instead of being scared, Aurora recognized her as the mysterious guardian who had watched over her since childhood. She called Maleficent her fairy godmother and said she loved her. This unexpected reaction filled Maleficent's heart with joy. They spent time together like a real mother and daughter, playing and talking in the forest. At night, Maleficent tried to use her magic to remove the curse, but she discovered that such old and powerful magic couldn't be undone, especially when it was so close to coming true. As Aurora's 16th birthday approached, Maleficent worried greatly. She hoped Aurora would find her true love quickly, so the curse could be broken. On the morning before her birthday, Aurora asked Maleficent about her missing wings. Maleficent sadly explained how a human had stolen them from her, and how much she missed flying. Aurora comforted her, and promised that after her birthday, she would come live with Maleficent in the forest forever. On her way home that day, Aurora met a handsome young prince named Philip. They liked each other immediately, though Maleficent knew that falling in love in one day wasn't realistic. It took time to develop true love. When Aurora returned to the cottage, she told the three fairies she wanted to leave and go live with Maleficent. The fairies thought she had discovered the truth about her real parents, and wanted to return to the kingdom. They decided to tell her everything, about her parents, about being a princess, and about the evil fairy who had cursed her. Aurora was shocked to learn that her beloved fairy godmother was the same person who had cursed her. Feeling hurt and confused, she went to Maleficent to ask if it was true. Maleficent sadly confirmed that yes, she had cursed Aurora, but explained it was because of what Aurora's father had done to her. He told Aurora that her heart had changed and she now loved her deeply. To Maleficent's explanation, Aurora felt betrayed and ran away to her father's kingdom. King Stefan was happy to see his daughter but angry with the fairies for bringing her back too early. He locked Aurora in a room with no sharp objects, hoping to keep her safe from the curse. But magical curses cannot be stopped so easily. As Aurora's 16th birthday arrived, the curse's power drew her to a spinning wheel hidden in the castle. Unable to resist, she touched the sharp needle, and immediately fell into a deep, death-like sleep. Desperate to save his daughter, Stefan agreed to let Maleficent bring Prince Philip to try true love's kiss. But when Philip kissed the sleeping Aurora, nothing happened. He wasn't her true love after all. Heartbroken, Maleficent knelt beside Aurora and tearfully told her how much she would miss her smile and her love. As she gently kissed Aurora's forehead in farewell, something magical happened. Aurora woke up. The true love that broke the curse wasn't romantic love, but the pure, motherly love that Maleficent felt for Aurora. Aurora joyfully called Maleficent her godmother and said she wanted to live with her in the forest. As they were about to leave together, Stefan's soldiers threw iron nets over them. Iron burned Maleficent and made her weak. She transformed Diaval into a dragon, and he breathed fire to free them from the nets. King Stefan arrived wearing iron armor, determined to kill Maleficent once and for all. During their fight, Aurora found Maleficent's wings, which had been kept in the castle. The wings seemed to recognize their owner, and flew back to Maleficent, attaching themselves to her back. With her wings restored, Maleficent could fly again. In the final battle with Stefan, he tried to drag her down, but when they fell from the castle, Maleficent spread her wings and soared to safety. Stefan, however, fell to the ground, and died. With the evil king gone, peace returned to the land. Maleficent removed all the magical barriers around her forest, and flowers bloomed everywhere again. She made Aurora the queen of both the forest and the kingdom, uniting the two realms. Everyone, humans and magical creatures alike, began living together happily. Maleficent Part 2. The story continues. Sometime later, thieves began sneaking into Maleficent's forest to steal magical creatures and glowing flowers. They were selling these to someone who was using them for evil purposes. When Maleficent caught some of the thieves, she discovered they were taking the magical items to a secret buyer in a nearby kingdom. Meanwhile, Aurora had grown into a wise and kind queen, beloved by all the forest creatures. Prince Philip, who had continued visiting her, finally asked her to marry him. Aurora was happy to accept, as she had grown to love him over time. When Philip told his parents about the engagement, his father the king was pleased, but his mother the queen seemed unhappy, though she tried to hide it. She agreed to invite Aurora and her godmother Maleficent to dinner to meet the family. Behind the scenes, Philip's mother was revealed to be the secret buyer of the stolen magical creatures and flowers. She was using them to create a deadly poison that could kill fairies. Her hatred came from old wounds. Her family had been hurt by magical creatures years ago, and she wanted revenge. Despie. At the dinner, the queen was deliberately rude to Maleficent, bringing up her past mistakes and trying to make her angry. She asked cruel questions about who would be Aurora's real mother after the wedding. When Maleficent became upset and her magic flared up, the queen pretended to be scared and accused Maleficent of cursing the king, who had fainted during the argument. Aurora, not understanding the queen's trick, believed that Maleficent had hurt Philip's father. She asked Maleficent to remove the curse, but Maleficent insisted she hadn't cast one. Feeling betrayed again, Aurora chose to stay with Philip's family instead of leaving with Maleficent. Hurt and angry, Maleficent flew away. As she left, one of the queen's hidden soldiers shot her with an iron bullet, causing her to fall into the ocean. The queen thought Maleficent was dead and began planning to destroy all the remaining magical creatures. However, Maleficent was rescued by other fairies like herself, winged people with horns who had been hiding from human persecution. Their leader, Bora, wanted to wage war against all humans. He tried to convince Maleficent to join their fight for revenge. The other fairies showed Maleficent their hidden home and told her she was the most powerful of their kind. They said she could become even stronger if she learned to truly forgive, but Maleficent wasn't ready to forgive Aurora for choosing the humans over her. Meanwhile, the queen announced that Philip and Aurora's wedding would happen in 3 days, and all forest creatures were invited. This was actually a trap. She planned to poison all the magical beings when they came to the celebration. Aurora began to notice that the queen was acting strangely. When she found the queen's secret workshop, she discovered the imprisoned magical creatures and the deadly poison being made from the stolen glowing flowers. The queen revealed her true plan: to kill all magical creatures and take over their forest lands. The queen locked Aurora in a tower, but Aurora tore up her wedding dress to make a rope and escaped. She found Philip and told him the truth about his mother's evil plans. Together, they worked to free the imprisoned creatures and warn everyone about the danger. When Bora and his fairy army arrived to attack the kingdom, a great battle began. But Maleficent appeared to help protect both sides from unnecessary violence. In the final confrontation, the queen tried to kill Aurora with her fairy poison, but Maleficent threw herself in front of Aurora and absorbed the deadly magic. As Maleficent seemed to die and turn to ash, Aurora wept over her. She called Maleficent mother and said she was sorry for not trusting her. Aurora's tears of true love and forgiveness fell on Maleficent's ashes, bringing her back to life with even greater power than before. The queen was defeated and transformed into a goat as punishment for her cruelty. Philip's father recovered from his wife's poison, and the kingdom was restored to peace. Aurora and Philip were married with both families' blessing, uniting the human and magical worlds. Maleficent, now truly at peace, blessed the young couple and promised to return when they had children of their own. The story ended with both kingdoms living together in harmony, with humans and magical creatures as friends instead of enemies. This tale shows us that love can overcome hatred, forgiveness is stronger than revenge, and family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who truly care for us and protect us with their whole hearts.